super simple addition to your language that will dramatically change the way you communicate with others and how they then respond to you. So say someone in your team excitedly makes a suggestion and asks, "Don't you think that would be great?" And you default to, "Yes, but last time it didn't really work." Now you've just unintentionally invalidated their idea and them. So instead, change "but" to "and." Yes, and we can learn from what didn't work last time to increase our chances of success this time. They'll feel validated, and it puts everyone in a more collaborative mode of problem solving.
4 easy tips to improve your public speaking. The first step is to video record yourself for 5 minutes. It shouldn't be planned or rehearsed. It has to be impromptu. The first review is called an auditory review, then listen to it to check your voice and watch it to see how you appear. Take notes on your vocal foundations, assess your volume, detect emotions in your voice, and note any pauses. This builds self-awareness. Next, conduct a visual review. Mute the sound, press play, and observe yourself. This can be an uncomfortable process, as you might find yourself thinking, "That's not how I look," or "That's not how I sound." However, it's essential to see yourself as others perceive you. Afterward, transcribe the video and use a red highlighter to mark your mistakes. Similar to correcting errors in schoolwork, pay particular attention to non-words and filler words, as they undermine your credibility and authority. This exercise will make you extremely conscious of the words detracting from your impact.
If you want to be a charismatic presenter, do this. Instead of immediately speaking as soon as you've been introduced and then pacing the stage or the front of the meeting room, create suspense instead. With composure, walk to the center of the room, lock eyes with your audience, take a breath, and only when everyone is quiet and waiting for what's going to happen next do you start. You'll find a lot of TED speakers start this way. They effortlessly attract attention by literally doing nothing. Why is this so powerful? Because these early moments are when your audience is determining your credibility and whether you're worth listening to. So conveying composure, gravitas, and authority in those earliest moments is key. This practice is more than just a trick. It also gives you time and helps you slow your mind and your nerves to feel more composed and confident.
Have something to say it well, read the audience, and deliberate with intensity. The most valuable things to talk about are your own experience. Go out there and live life. Write down the stories. Write down when someone frustrates you. Learn to tell good stories from your own life. Say it well. To learn to say it well, say it often. Practice is the most vital thing in learning to say it well. But I think in today's age, we have a tool that is by far the most important tool you have in your speaking. As I told you before, there is the little camera looking back at you from the top of the screen in your laptop computer. Use the webcam. Record yourself speaking for 3 or 5 minutes every day. Tell stories, talk about your product, talk about your CV, 3 minutes every day talking into that little camera and listening to it back. You're going to learn to say it well. Third thing, read the audience. That level of practice of really understanding the stories that are important to you, of having practiced many, many times, will give you the ability that when you're speaking, instead of being focused on the words, instead of being focused on yourself and what you're going to say next, you start to reach out and listen to what the audience is saying. You can tell when the audience is cold. You can tell when they've lost interest. You can see them checking their phone underneath the table. You can tell when the room is hot. You can tell when the room is really engaged, but the more you practice, the more you'll be able to focus out on the audience when you're actually delivering the speech. So reading the audience comes from enough practice that you start to reach out to them. The fourth thing, with intensity, delivering a speech where the audience really feels the importance this is for you. You care about the people behind it. You care about how this is going to affect the world. A speaker who delivers that without structure, without anything else, will be listened to. If you can get the intensity, the passion, the sense that you care, all of the rest will come together and people will seek to follow you. So have something to say it well, read the audience, and say it with intensity. 4 steps to great speaking.
Do you want to improve your credibility at work? Eliminate these 2 things from what you want to say. First, eliminate softness from your communication. I'm no expert, but this might be a silly idea. I haven't really thought this through. Sorry if this is going off track. These undermine your credibility and diminishes your words even before you've really said anything at all. Second, eliminate the word just. I just want to say, I'm just checking in. I'm just following up. It makes us sound uncertain. I want to say, I'm checking in, I'm following up. Subtle change, powerful difference. A super simple way to increase your charisma and your personal magnetism comes down to what I call the 3SP, 3-second pause. You might have noticed that people who rate really highly on charisma have this quiet confidence about them. If you've ever watched an interview with one, you'll notice that they often pause before answering a question. They remain silent, but they maintain eye contact for around 3 seconds. Not only does it convey confidence and self-assuredness, it also gives them time to collect their thoughts, to take a breath, and deliver a really well-considered response. This is a great tip for professional environments, or if you experience any kind of interaction anxiety where you blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Try out the power of 3SP.
Say, do what you can, where you are with what you have, and never be satisfied.
Anticipation is the ultimate advantage in business and in life.
Like, you're not 100% sure what could happen if you keep going.
You can do it. Tomorrow is going to be better.
The thing that really helps is I've learned about the perspective to change my perspective. So for example, I show up to give, and I always remind people that the most important thing about being an effective presenter, an effective speaker, is you have to show up with a giving attitude. You have to show up to give. You know something, you've seen something, you've done something, you've tried something that someone else thinks others need to hear. That's why they invited you to speak.